Okie dokie, let's get started on the next set of notes here. Angle relationships. You will identify and use special pairs of angles, identify perpendicular lines. So the idea here, guys, is there's really more definitions for you to understand here, and it's a lot of definitions. So let's just get into it, all right? Okay, so you're going to have to make sure you pause quite often here on these. Let's talk about special angle pairs. The first special angle pair that I would like to talk about are adjacent angles. They are two angles on the same plane with a common vertex and with a common side, but no common interior points. In other words, if you look here, angles 1 and 2 are adjacent angles here on this one because they have that common endpoint, common side, or common vertex, common side, and, well, they're touching each other. That's basically about it. Here I drew a different version, but again, same thing. They have a common vertex and a common side. Now on this one, I'm saying angle ABC is not congruent or not adjacent to angle 3 because they share a side. Like the side they share is not in the middle, let's say, or in between. But that should be pretty obvious. Next one is a linear pair. A linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles with non-common sides that are opposite rays. In other words, this ray, and this ray are the non-common sides. They share this one right here, but this is the one they don't share. These two they don't share, and they are opposite rays. That's an example, and then of course you can see the non-example. Vertical angles are two non-adjacent angles formed by intersecting lines. So like angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles, and angles 3 and 4 are vertical angles. And then you can see the non-example. Alright, again, pause when you need to copy this stuff down. The next part here is talking about angle pair relationships. Okay, so looking at the angle pairs, what kind of relationships can they exhibit? So the first thing I want to discuss is that vertical angles are congruent. In other words, the angles that are opposite each other are congruent. So you can see here I'm saying angle ABD and CBE are congruent, and at the same time ABC and DBE are congruent. The measures of those angles would be congruent. So there you go. Complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles with measures whose sum is 180 degrees. And any angles in a linear pair are supplementary. So if you go back here and talk about a linear pair, this right here, these two angles, 1 and 2, are supplementary. So that in other words, the measurement of angle 1, I should say the measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 2 is equal to 180. Okay? Finally, any lines, segments, or rays that form right angles are called perpendicular lines. Now, the symbol we use for perpendicular is this little upside down T. So, when I say AEB, and I see this little square here, then I know that's a 90-degree angle. And then, because of that, and then knowing that this is 90, then there's a whole thing. These two have to be opposite rays. Thus, I could be able to say AEB is perpendicular to CED. And notice because, again, these are actually not CED. Those are vertical lines. Let's change that. I'm sorry. It would be perpendicular. Let's try that again. I don't know why I was talking about like angles, because again these are lines. So I could say line AE or AD is perpendicular. I'm going to say AD. I don't want to use the vertex. AD is perpendicular to CB. Now notice here that I am putting the line symbol over these. You should be doing that. And again, notice that I used 2 points to signify that I was dealing with lines. Anyways, really that's it for this one. I'm going to keep it short, kind of keep it sweet there, and then we'll look at, say, sections 1.6 and 1.7 later. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for your time. Y'all take care.